The question is it time to panic? Now I say that because today is a big day. We're going to be voting. But there's some stories that's come out that we need to be aware of, that we need to see. It's not doom and gloom from someone like a YouTuber. It's doom and gloom from the fact of the people who are actually in the market doing the big moves and then are billionaires who are saying you better watch out for what's coming. There's also some other stories that should bring attention to inflation and why it's so important to vote today and vote for the candidate who can hopefully help us get back on track. Today's video is going to be a good one. We're going to jump right into it, and it starts right now. Hey, welcome to the Max. If you're new to our channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Our goal is to always bring wisdom and try to seek what is the smart things to do, and also hopefully bring in you some insight of some of the crazy things that are going on in this world. So first and foremost, you need to be subscribed to our channel and give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but let us know in the comments below what you do like or not like about this video, or opinions of what you are seeing in your area. Now, as I said before, today's a big day. We're gonna be voting across the nation, and I hope that you will go out. I know a lot of people say, well, your vote does not matter, it's just one single vote, but please, for all of humanity, you need to vote in this election. So we're going to talk about a few stories that should scare you a little bit, and hoping to make some good decisions today when you vote. Global societal collapse. Now that is what one hedge fund manager said. This is the hedge fund called Elliott, or Elliott Management. It's owned by a billionaire named Paul Singer, but a lot of his firm has come out and said, because of the hyperinflation, because we're not getting in control of this, we're going to see a major financial crisis that's going to be comparable to the times around World War II. They said in their market watch and their bulletin that you have not seen it all. People think about the 80s and they think about even the 2008 crisis. He said, you've not seen anything yet. You're going to see a major market turn. There's been some speculation to say the market could go down 50%. 50%! Now, how's your retirement? How is your money that you've put up for all these years that you've worked so hard for? 50%, that's huge. That would cause a catastrophic, terrible recession that would maneuver into almost a depression. You're talking major money loss. And you're talking about those people who have worked so hard and all of a sudden half of their savings is gone. Then that's going to make a lot of people turn back to the government. So we see a major hedge fund saying there could be some major catastrophic collapsing coming to our global economy, and the stock market is on the brink of it. And a lot of times people say, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. So this company has about $56 billion of assets on its books, and they have only had an annual loss twice since 1977. I think they know what they're talking about. So what I'm saying is, make sure your investments are safe. So again, I'm saying go out and vote today. Maybe this will stop the bleed a little bit and we can start getting some traction again. We've got to get this country out of debt, and we've got to get away from this inflation. We can't spend ourselves out of it, and I think that's what our administration is trying to do. And you hear these big billionaires saying, you can't do that. It's impossible. We're going to see a collapse. And the question is that what sometimes the administration wants? Is that what this kind of what we consider the deep state wants? 44%, it was a poll done that 44% of Americans believe there is a secret cabal behind what's going on in America. That's crazy. And that's something that has grown, because, you know, we used to all put our tinfoil hats on and we were called, conspiracy theorists, but really you're starting to see more people say, you know what, are they really looking out for our best interests? I think of fuel. If we were pumping our own fuel, we were pushing our own energy. We have enough energy between Texas, Alaska, and what's pumping in our seas to take care of America. But not only America, we could take care of the world in those places that depend on foreign oil. We could do that for them, and it would make our economy so much better. It would grow. Now, I'm not saying these oil companies should be uber billionaires and everybody that works for them poor. I'm not saying that, but I am saying we have energy, we have the refineries, we have the oil to change the world. And when you hear studies like, you know, people believe there's a secret cabal, 44%, and that was across Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. So if we see some things not changing in this election, do we see that number go up and people really believe there is a deep state and there is a secret cabal? So now, 2 more reasons that you should be voting today, because we see some major issues that are happening. There's a study by the Daily Mail that said 40% of small businesses were late on their rental payments, late on their mortgage payments, or failed to pay rent. And they said because a lot of their savings they have lost, and all the price hikes from all the goods they're having to buy. 40% of small businesses failed to pay their rent or they were behind. That's big numbers. There's also a report that says a majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and that have a debt of over $25,000. Now, this is not talking about your home. This is not even talking about vehicles. This is talking about consumer debt, like credit cards and living off of your debt. If we're living paycheck to paycheck as Americans and we have $25,000 worth of credit card debt, that means we either have a spending problem or our goods are too much. So we go back to inflation. If inflation comes down, all Americans should be on budget and all Americans should get out of credit card debt, because you are going to be a slave to that lender for a long time. But if we see inflation like it is, and we see businesses struggle, we see inflation on your groceries and how people now are living not only paycheck to paycheck, but they're using consumer debt, credit card debt to purchase all their goods and all their services and all their groceries, that is not going to get any better unless we change the system that we're in right now. In politics, we tend to forget stuff so soon. No matter if you loved or hated Trump, you had better retirement, better pricing, cheaper fuel, cheaper diesel, and you didn't have to worry about these shortages. Now, I'm not saying the guy was had a way with words. I'm not saying the guy was even a likable guy with a lot of people. But what I am saying is your financial life was better just 2 years ago. So we lived this short life of 2 years of screwing around with our economy. Those policies of taking away our oil, those policies of shutting down the energy that has been running our country for all the prior years. When we start shutting those coal mines down and we start shutting those pipelines down and we're not doing any more oil exploration, that will come back and bite us. Because guess what? We don't have solar and wind set up. Biden came out yesterday. You would have thought he'd have kind of went more centrist to try to win some votes. But he came out yesterday and says there will be no more coal plants. We are shutting them down across America. And we're going to put wind farms. There will be no new oil exploration. Go back and watch it. Those are on mainstream media, him showing those clips. I know one was in New York. I'm not sure where the other one was filmed. But the sad thing is, if he's doubling down on those things, voting today is very important. We have got to stop the bleed, but ultimately we have to have a plan. I said there was a video the other day I made of called, is the red wave a bad thing? I see a lot of senators coming out and saying if we win the Senate, we're not voting for Mitch McConnell. I think that's a great thing. I think we need to get Mitch McConnell and some of those career politicians out of leadership and start getting some of these new firebrands and these guys who really want to make a difference in leadership. Same way with the House. If we want to do something and we want to go back to the times where we had a better financial life, no matter who was in presidency, we need to realize that the government is not going to give us that. The government is there for emergencies. The government is there to make sure the environment is good for us to have business. It's not to take care of us. If we keep going down this hole where we have no money, we are inflated, our debts are crazy, your personal debt is crazy, you're living paycheck to paycheck, all that means is you're going to rely on the government for more and more and more. So just to recap, we see hedge funds saying there will be a global societal collapse if we keep going in this direction with hyperinflation. From someone who knows what they're doing, that's been in the markets and that are uber billionaires and have a major asset pool underneath their business. And then we see businesses, small businesses struggling. And I know you're struggling because I had to go buy diesel yesterday. Man, I don't want to pay $5 for diesel. I think that's crazy. $5 a gallon for diesel is nuts, especially when 2 years ago it was literally around $2. We cannot continue this way. So it's important to get out today, make your voice heard as much as you can, vote, and hold these politicians accountable. People like in West Virginia, who you've got Joe Manchin, he's got to go. People in Arizona, where you've got Kelly, who's going to vote party lines, he needs to go. You have to remember, these guys need an independent voice and an independent thought process for their constituents. The person in Arizona, the person in Maine, the person in Washington, they should be doing things for their constituents, not just voting party line. If the border's a crisis in Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico, they should be voting not on party lines, but on the safety of their people. If the problem in some of these cities are crime, then we need to be voting those people out of office who's let crime come in and has destroyed. Look at New York City, look at Chicago. We have to get to the point where we are not voting party lines, we're voting for the candidates who's gonna have an independent voice, independent mindset, and wants to see change and wants to see America be the seat on hill that it once was. So today, vote, guys. Vote, vote, vote. I tell you, I would challenge you to have a word of prayer before you vote. Make sure you're making wise decisions. If you don't know the names on the ballots, you need to learn the names on the ballots before you go in. You see their platforms, you understand where they're at. Don't worry about the D or R or I behind their name or L, whatever there's behind their name. You find out what they stand for. If they're there to help you, you vote for them. If they're there and they're gonna push the same policies that's harmed us, they gotta go. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting our channel. It means the world to me when you watch, when you comment. I hope that this video is informative, but most of all, I hope it is eye-opening, because we don't want to see a societal collapse. I don't want to see that. Even as a prepper or a homesteader, I don't want to see chaos. I don't want to see unrest. I want to see America be the America that it's supposed to be and it used to be, and hopefully it will get back to good morals, good values, and being good to its people. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.
I still remember the day that you came.